May 2020, Portofino Inn, Redondo Beach, 6 a.m. An Audi S6 pulls into the parking lot, engine ticking, exhaust hot. 3 men climb out, barely. They've been driving for 25 hours and 39 minutes. New York to California, averaged 110 miles per hour, the entire width of America, during a pandemic lockdown, on empty highways where everyone else was ordered to stay home. Arnie Toman, Doug Tabbitt, Dunadel Dariush. They just set the Cannonball run record that might never be broken. But watch what happens when they try to explain how they did it. The story doesn't add up, because what they're not saying is more interesting than what they did say. The Audi looks wrong. Front grille reshaped, badge missing. From a distance, it looks like a Ford Taurus police interceptor. That's not accident, that's camouflage. The back seat? Ripped out. 45-gallon fuel cell where the trunk used to be. Radar detectors, laser jammers, CB radio, police scanner, thermal camera mounted on the roof. This isn't a car. This is a mobile countermeasures platform, built in 4 days, after Toman's previous record car was destroyed. 4 days to build a machine that would cross America faster than anyone in history. Unless they didn't build it in 4 days. Unless this car was ready months before. Unless COVID was the moment they'd been waiting for. And if that's true, we need to ask a different question. Not how fast they went, but how they knew when to go. Let's go back, because the official story and what actually happened are two very different things. November 2019, Arnie Toman and Doug Tabbitt set the Cannonball record, 27 hours, 25 minutes, in a Mercedes E63 AMG. 800 horsepower, meticulously prepared over months. They beat Ed Bolian's 2013 record of 28:50 by 85 minutes, a time everyone said was impossible to beat. The automotive world declared it untouchable. Toman and Tabbitt were legends. Then COVID happened. March 2020. America locks down. Highways empty. Traffic vanishes. Every cannonballer in the country sees the same thing. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No traffic. Light police enforcement. Clear roads coast to coast. The perfect storm. Within weeks, the record fell. April 2020. Anonymous team in an Audi A8. 26 hours, 38 minutes. Beat Toman and Tabbitt by 47 minutes. Using a borrowed car, minimal prep, just empty roads and opportunity. Then Fred Ashmore. Solo run in a rental Mustang GT. 25 hours, 55 minutes. Faster than the team record. Alone in a rental. With 127 gallons of fuel crammed inside. The Cannonball world was chaos. Records falling weekly. Everything everyone knew about what was possible? Wrong. Subscribe, because we're hunting down the records that only existed because the world stopped, where opportunity met preparation, or conspiracy. You decide. Now here's what doesn't make sense. April 4th, 2020. Arnie Toman's Mercedes E63, the car that set the November record, destroyed. Parked on the side of a highway. Truck crashes into it, total loss. The most prepared Cannonball car in existence, gone. 4 days later, he's got another car ready. An Audi S6 modified. Fuel cell installed, countermeasures mounted. Police disguise complete. Most Cannonball builds take months. This one took 4 days, during a pandemic lockdown. Here's the timeline. March 15th, national emergency declared. March 20th, Toman spotted at a parts supplier, buying a 45-gallon fuel cell, 2 weeks before the Mercedes gets hit. March 28th, Doug Tabbitt posts a photo on Instagram, deleted within hours, shows an Audi front grille being modified. Caption, new project. April 4th, Mercedes destroyed. April 8th, Audi S6 ready for Cannonball attempt. The car was being built before the crash happened. May 3rd, 2020, 6 p.m., Red Ball Garage, Manhattan. The traditional Cannonball starting point. Toman, Tabit, and spotter Dunadil Dariush climb into the S6. Engine fires. They roll out into empty Manhattan streets. Most Cannonball attempts leave pre-dawn. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., maximize daylight hours for the dangerous sections. Get through populated areas before rush hour builds. Not this run. 6 p.m. departure means driving the entire Midwest at night, crossing the Great Plains in darkness, navigating mountain passes without daylight. Toman says it's tactical. Use darkness for maximum speed through the flatlands where police radar is less effective. But there's another implication. 6 p.m. departure means they arrive Los Angeles at dawn, right when morning news crews are setting up. Perfect timing for maximum media coverage. Almost like the timing was calculated for optics as much as strategy. Almost like someone planned when they'd finish based on when cameras would be ready. The route is identical to November. Same highways, same fuel stops, except one variable: traffic. In November, they navigated rush hour, construction zones, normal conditions. In May, during peak lockdown, empty. Mile after mile of clear asphalt. They averaged 110 miles per hour. Cruise speeds between 125 and 140. Some stretches sustained 175 for hours. 30 spotters coordinated across America, watching for police, reporting traffic, during a pandemic lockdown when non-essential travel was banned. Pennsylvania, hour 3. The S6 is averaging 130 through mountains. 2 state troopers ahead setting up to intercept. The team's mobile spotter pulls over near them, acts distressed, gets out. Troopers stop to help. 20-minute delay. By the time they're back in position, the S6 is 200 miles west. That spotter committed obstruction to help this run. Nobody was prosecuted. Midwest, hour 12. Dawn breaking over Colorado. The S6 has been maintaining sustained 140 through flat states. Kansas, Nebraska, no traffic, no police, no witnesses, just speed and silence. The thermal camera on the roof is showing heat signatures miles ahead. Every deer, every disabled vehicle, every potential hazard visible before human eyes can process. They're operating with information advantage that borders on military surveillance. Tabit later admits, "We saw the sun rise in Colorado and we knew we had it. Knew at hour 12, 13 hours left. Already confident they'd break the record." That's not hope, that's certainty. Like they knew exactly what speeds they could maintain. Like they'd calculated it down to the minute. Like this wasn't their first time running this route during COVID. Here's what almost ended it. New Mexico, hour 16, wrong fuel stop. GPS glitch. They pull into a station that's closed. Pandemic shutdowns, no fuel available. They're already running on fumes. Next station is 40 miles. They don't have 40 miles. This is where the record dies. Engine starved, stuck in New Mexico. Game over. Then a local shows up, maintenance worker, has keys to the closed station, turns the pumps on, lets them fuel, disappears, never asks questions, never takes payment, just helps and leaves. Lucky or prearranged, because that maintenance worker saved the record, and nobody knows his name, nobody interviewed him, nobody verified he existed. Just a convenient miracle at exactly the right moment. California, hour 23. Final push. Interstate 15 toward Los Angeles, Sunday morning. Even during lockdown, there's traffic near LA. Weekend drivers heading to beaches. Essential workers on their commutes. The S6 is weaving through cars at sustained 130. Lane splitting like a motorcycle. Cutting gaps that shouldn't exist for a sedan. The police disguise is working perfectly. Other drivers see what appears to be an unmarked patrol car. Move aside automatically. Give space. The S6 goes through traffic like it owns the road. Tabit later describes this moment. Our disguise was so effective that our own spotters called in reports thinking we were a cop car chasing someone. They'd created a vehicle that fooled even people who knew it was coming. Impersonating law enforcement, multiple witnesses, video evidence from dashboard cameras, traffic cameras, toll booth cameras, all showing an Audi pretending to be police. Yet nobody was prosecuted. No charges filed, no investigation opened. The evidence exists publicly. The violations are documented, but enforcement never happened. Why not? 6:13 a.m., Portofino Inn. They pull in, kill the engine. 25 hours, 39 minutes. New record. Beat the anonymous Audi A8 team by 59 minutes. Beat their own November record by 1 hour, 46 minutes. Averaged 110 miles per hour across the entire continental United States during a pandemic on supposedly empty roads, with 30 spotters coordinating illegally. After a car crash that was suspiciously convenient, with a build time that was physically impossible, and a fuel stop miracle that defies explanation. This isn't a record. This is a conspiracy with a stopwatch. Compare this to previous Cannonball records. Ed Bolian's 2013 run took 6 years of planning, multiple practice runs, extensive vehicle development, legal consultations, risk assessments. He drove 2850. Toman and Tabbitt's November 2019 run took similar preparation, months of planning, detailed route mapping, weather analysis. They drove 2725, both legitimate records set through preparation and skill. The COVID run, 4 days of car prep, convenient crash, impossible coordination, suspicious assistance, 2539. That's not preparation, that's exploitation of a pandemic, of empty roads, of suspended enforcement, and possibly of connections nobody wants to discuss. Let's talk about the evidence that raises questions. The S6's fuel consumption. 45-gallon auxiliary tank plus 22-gallon stock tank. 67 gallons total capacity. 5 fuel stops during the run. Average of 26 minutes total stop time. That's roughly 5 minutes per stop. Except fueling a performance car with a massive auxiliary tank takes minimum 8 to 10 minutes. Pump flow physics. Commercial gas pumps max out at 10 gallons per minute. 67 gallons means 7 minutes minimum just for fuel transfer. Add payment, bathroom, checking systems. 10 minutes is optimistic. So how did they average 5? Either they had pre-positioned equipment for faster fueling, or the fuel stop count is incomplete, or something else was happening that's not being discussed. The police scanner logs tell another interesting story. Tabbitt mentions they heard themselves called in at mile marker 18, but were already at mile marker 13 when the transmission came through, moving so fast that by the time radio communications happened, they'd passed the reported position. He describes this as evidence of their speed, but think about what that actually means. They knew about police presence before the police reported it over radio. That's not reaction. That's prediction. Real-time intelligence about police positions before those positions are communicated. How? Spotters with police scanner coverage that broad? Pre-positioned observers at every potential speed trap? Or access to information they're not acknowledging? Here's the theory nobody wants to say out loud. What if this run had official approval? Not public, not formal, but tacit acknowledgement from someone in authority. COVID lockdowns were unpopular. People felt trapped, restricted, controlled. A high-speed run across America during lockdown? That's symbolic rebellion. Freedom embodied. Authorities letting it happen sends a message. We're enforcing health policy, but we're not monsters. We understand you need this. Letting the cannonball happen during COVID gives people a pressure valve. Hope that freedom still exists, even during a pandemic, even when everything else is restricted. And if that's true, Toman and Tabbitt weren't just drivers. They were propaganda, symbols of American freedom in a time of constraint. And their record? Not just fast driving. Political theater with a speedometer. 3 months after the COVID run, traffic returned. Enforcement resumed. Multiple teams attempted the record. All failed. Came nowhere close. Because the window closed. That specific moment in May 2020, when highways were empty and enforcement was minimal, gone forever. Thoman admits it himself in interviews. It might be the final chapter. He knows. Nobody is breaking 25:39 under normal conditions. The record is essentially permanent. Not because it's unbeatable, because the conditions that allowed it will never exist again, unless another global pandemic happens, which makes this record both impressive and ethically complicated. The automotive world is divided. Some call it the greatest cannonball run in history, ultimate achievement, perfect execution. Others call it cheating, asterisk record, COVID advantage, illegitimate. The debate rages online. YouTube comments, forum threads, Reddit arguments. Everyone has an opinion. Few have facts. Because Thoman and Tabbitt won't answer the hard questions, won't explain the impossible timeline, won't identify the spotters, won't clarify the fuel stop miracle, won't acknowledge the suspicious coordination. Just repeat the official story. 4 days of prep, lucky timing, empty roads, perfect execution, and anyone who questions it gets labeled jealous, bitter, unable to accept greatness. But here's what forensic analysis reveals. The S6's GPS data. Thoman provided partial logs. Prove the time, prove the route. But large sections are redacted, gaps where data should exist. Explanations range from privacy concerns to technical glitches to protecting spotter locations. All plausible, all convenient, all preventing independent verification of the most controversial segments. Pennsylvania, New Mexico, California. The sections where suspicious assistance occurred, those sections are redacted. Coincidence or evidence management? The car still exists. Thoman kept it. But post-run modifications make analysis difficult. The fuel system was removed. Countermeasures stripped. Police disguise dismantled. The S6 now looks like a stock sports sedan. Nothing remarkable. No evidence of its record-setting configuration. Why dismantle it? Thoman says for legal protection. Can't be charged with possessing illegal countermeasures if they're gone. But it also destroys evidence. Makes verification impossible. Convenient. Again, May 2025, 5 years later. The record still stands. 25 hours, 39 minutes. Nobody's come within an hour. Not even close. Multiple attempts, professional drivers, unlimited budgets, advanced technology. All failed. Because without empty COVID roads, the math doesn't work. Traffic slows average speeds. Construction adds delays. Weather creates hazards. The perfect conditions of May 2020 are gone. And with them, any hope of beating this record. Thoman and Tabbitt know this. They're safe. Permanent record holders. Not through skill alone. Through timing. Through exploitation of circumstances that will never repeat. And possibly through connections and coordination they'll never acknowledge. So what really happened? Theory 1. Legitimate record. COVID provided unexpected opportunity. Thoman and Tabbitt acted fast. Built car in 4 days, executed perfectly. Got lucky multiple times, beat record legitimately. Clean achievement, except timing doesn't support it. Coordination doesn't support it. Evidence gaps don't support it. Theory 2. Planned operation. Thoman saw COVID coming. Started building the S6 in March. Mercedes crash was cover story. Car was ready before crash. Spotters were pre-positioned. Fuel stops were pre-arranged. Run was coordinated like military operation. Still illegal, but less improvised. More calculated. Evidence supports this better. but raises more questions. Theory 3. Coordinated operation with tacit awareness. COVID lockdowns were unpopular. People felt trapped. A high-speed run across America during lockdown became symbolic. Freedom embodied. The run happened during minimal enforcement. Spotters operated without intervention. Violations went unprosecuted. Whether this represents passive acceptance or active coordination remains unclear. But the pattern suggests someone looked the other way. The question is why? And at what level? The truth is probably combination. Thoman saw opportunity, prepared quickly, got help from network of supporters. Some assistance was luck, some was coordination, some might have been tacit approval. The record is real, the speed is verified, but the story is incomplete, and the questions that remain are more interesting than the answers provided. 5 years later, Thoman and Tabbitt still won't explain the timeline fully, still won't identify all spotters, still won't clarify assistance received. Statute of limitations on most violations has expired. Can't be prosecuted now. They're safe. Record secure. Questions unanswered. But there's one more thing nobody talks about. Doug Tabbitt's wife. 2 days after the Mercedes crash, she gave him permission to attempt another run. Her exact words in an interview: "I don't like how you lost it and how everything went down this weekend." Lost the record. But the crash happened on Saturday. The anonymous Audi A8 record was set days earlier. She's not talking about the crash. She's talking about losing the record, which means she knew they'd attempt again. Knew before the crash, which raises one final question. Did she know the crash was coming? Did Tabbitt tell her the Mercedes would be replaced? And if she knew, who else knew? How many people were in on this before it happened? The COVID Cannonball isn't just a record, it's a business, and business is good. So what do you think? Was this legitimate record-breaking under unique circumstances? Or coordinated operation exploiting pandemic conditions? Did they get lucky repeatedly? Or was there a level of organization nobody wants to discuss? What about the wife's comment? What about the redacted GPS data? What about that 4-day build timeline? Drop your theory in comments. This is the record that divides people. Achievement or asterisk, skill or timing, freedom or exploitation. Hit subscribe because we're hunting down every record that only existed because the world stopped. The COVID Cannonball, 2539. Unbeatable, controversial. Question. You decide what it means,